Have you ever wondered what it feels like to fly, not with wings, but on the exhilarating winds of love and freedom? Imagine a love story set against the canvas of a bustling city, where skyscrapers touch the clouds and dreams are just a heartbeat away. It all began on an ordinary evening that fate had decided would be anything but ordinary. This was the evening that would transform their lives forever. He was a beacon of ambition in the corporate realm, typically found in tailored suits that mirrored his structured, strategic mind. His eyes, always set on towering achievements, rarely glanced away from the glowing screens of digits and deals. However, this evening, as he stepped away from the echo of stock markets and business jargon, he entered a different world, a world where the air buzzed not with commerce but with creativity. She was the antithesis of his world, a bohemian soul whose spirit was as free as the paint that danced on her canvas. Her life was a mosaic of vibrant colors, each stroke on her canvas a testament to her wild, untamed imagination. She painted not what she saw, but what she felt, each artwork a page from her heart's diary. On that transformative evening, the city, usually a colossal machine fueled by ambition and progress, took a gentle pause. The skyscrapers still scraped the skies, but below them, in a quaint art gallery nestled between the giants, a softer world thrived. The gallery was a sanctuary for dreamers and lovers of art, its walls adorned with paintings that whispered stories of distant lands and deep emotions. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the gallery's lights cast a warm glow, inviting the city's eclectic souls to gather. It was the opening night of a new exhibit, promising to unveil beauty that transcended the ordinary. He had to attend by colleagues who insisted on supporting the arts, despite his usual indifference. She was there, as always, eager to drown in new expressions of creativity. The evening unfolded like a ballet, each attendee gliding gracefully, wine glasses in hand, their voices a soft murmur of admiration and critique. He felt out of place among the swirls of passionate conversations, his mind still echoing with the day's numbers and negotiations. But then, amidst the soft glow of art, his gaze was stolen, not by a striking piece of art on the wall, but by her. She stood across the room, her figure illuminated by the soft lighting, her eyes reflecting the myriad of colors that surrounded her. Her presence was magnetic, pulling him from across the room without a single word spoken. With each step towards her, his world of rigid structures and defined outcomes began to blur, melting into the vivid hues of unpredictability and emotion. Their eyes met, and in that glance, something profound and undeniable was ignited. It was as if the bustling noise of the city faded into silence, leaving only the soft whispers of possibility between them. He saw not just her beauty, but the wildness of her creativity that dared him to step beyond his comfort zone. She saw not just his appearance, but the hidden depths of a soul that yearned. A simple, transformative glance. As time unfurled, their love blossomed with an intensity that lit every corner of their lives. Together, they traversed the globe, their hearts beating in unison, crafting memories in the sands of exotic shores and the cobblestones of ancient cities. From the misty mornings in the Scottish Highlands to the vibrant sunsets of the Moroccan Sahara, each destination they visited added a new layer to their shared experience. They danced under the stars in Spain, sampled the finest wines in France, and laughed until their sides hurt in the bustling markets of Istanbul. Their journey was not just about the places. It was about the people they met, the stories they heard, and the myriad ways they learned to express their love in the languages of the world. In Japan, they learned about kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold, seeing it as a metaphor for embracing flaws and imperfections within their relationship. In Brazil, they spent nights swaying to the rhythm of samba, learning that every step taken together brought them closer in harmony. Each adventure was a testament to their unbreakable bond, a series of moments that were both wildly exhilarating and profoundly intimate. They navigated through challenges too, like navigating the chaotic streets of Bangkok or scaling the rugged terrains of the New Zealand Alps, discovering that their greatest adventures were found in the depths of their togetherness. As they explored, they collected not just souvenirs, but also lessons on love, life, and the impermanent nature of everything except the feelings they shared. This profound realization made them cherish each fleeting moment, soaking in the essence of each experience, knowing that the memories they were making were the only treasures they could truly keep forever. Yet even the brightest flame can cast the darkest shadow. Beneath the surface of their perfect tableau, a storm brewed, marked by the dark clouds of possessiveness. At first, their love story seemed like something out of a fairy tale, with passionate declarations of love and grand romantic gestures. His eyes sparkled with adoration whenever he looked at her, and she basked in the warmth of his affection. But as time went on, the sparkle in his eyes turned into a glare of surveillance. His love, once a liberating force, morphed into a cage of jealousy and control. It began subtly. Text messages sent just to check in became more frequent and demanding. Questions about her whereabouts, once casual and conversational, grew accusatory and relentless. The delightful surprises that once marked their early days, like unexpected flowers or a note tucked into her bag, were replaced by unannounced visits that felt more like inspections than gestures of love. She began to notice the changes in her own behavior, the way her heartbeat sped up not with excitement, but with anxiety, when she saw his name light up on her phone. Social gatherings became minefields. Any interaction with another man, no matter how innocent, was met with a cold shoulder or a heated interrogation later that night. Friends started to pull away, reluctant to cause her further trouble, their sympathetic glances a silent acknowledgement of her shrinking world. Calls monitored, friendships questioned. His fear of losing her tightened like a noose, suffocating the freedom she held dear. She missed the days when love meant laughter and ease, not walking on eggshells around the moods and insecurities of the man she once thought was her soulmate. The realization hit her slowly, then all at once. What she held wasn't love, but the shards of its illusion, sharp and cutting in her grasp. In her heart, she knew something needed to change, but the thought of leaving was as terrifying as it was necessary. It was not just about losing the relationship, but about reclaiming her life, her autonomy, her self-respect. Beneath the surface of their perfect tableau, a storm brewed, marked by the dark clouds of possessiveness. The decision she faced was daunting, but essential for her own survival, to step out of the storm and back into the light. Torn between a past that clung too tightly and a future that promised the freedom of true love, she stood at a crossroads. Memories of their early days together, filled with laughter and whispered dreams, haunted her. She remembered the starlit evenings spent wrapped in his arms, the promises of a lifetime whispered in her ear. Yet, those sweet moments had gradually given way to darker days. Each gift, a beautifully wrapped gesture, once filled with meaning, now seemed hollow. Each promise he made, once a symbol of a future together, had become a chain that tied her to a love that was no longer nurturing, but suffocating. These tokens, meant to represent affection, had transformed into the weights around her ankles, dragging her down into the depths of despair. Her friends saw the change in her, from a vibrant soul to a shadow of her former self. They whispered concerns, urging her to reconsider the path she was on. Their voices, filled with worry, echoed in her mind as she looked at her reflection in the mirror, no recognizing the woman staring back at her. At night, she'd lay awake, the echoes of their arguments replaying in her mind. Words, sharp as knives, were thrown with reckless abandon, each one chipping away at the foundation of their relationship. The love they shared, once a beacon of hope, had become a looming storm cloud, filled with resentment and regret. It was on a crisp autumn morning when she realized that staying would mean losing herself completely. She could no longer live in a past that suffocated her, nor could she hold on to the facade of a future that would never come to pass. With a heart heavy but resolute, she chose the path of liberation. Turning away from a love that had become a prison, she packed her essentials, her steps lightened by the decision that had lifted the burden from her shoulders. As she closed the door behind her, the sound echoed like the final gavel in a trial long overdue. She stepped into the unknown, leaving behind the remnants of a life that was meant to be, but never was. As she walked away, her heart began to mend, stitching itself together with threads of relief and newfound strength. Each step forward was a step towards rediscovering herself, finding peace in the solitude that she had once feared. By choosing herself, she had chosen a chance at happiness, unbound by the expectations of others. The journey was fraught with heartache, but in its wake, she discovered the essence of true love. True love, she learned, isn't about holding on tightly, but holding up gently. It's about trust, respect, and the freedom to be oneself without fear. So, as our tale reaches its close, remember this: true love doesn't confine, it liberates. It doesn't cloud, it clarifies. And sometimes the journey to find it can be the greatest liberation of all.